Welcome to the 21st episode of the Tertius Times podcast. Today is Monday, September 20th, 2021. I'm your host, Brian Wright, and today in the news segment, we will look at Christian persecution in East Africa. After that, in my first overseas interview, we will learn about Ssebaggala Moses, evangelist and director of Shared Love Uganda. Thankfully, there were no technical glitches and the interview went smoothly despite the 10-hour difference. Before that, however, we will look at an article that also ties in to the interview with a very uncanny similarity, but fortunately, a very different outcome to that of an experience Moses had. The links to the story and Shared Love Uganda are in the description. As I have been announcing for the past few days, there's a free USERF, United States Commission on International Religious Freedom event this week. You are invited to join entitled Strategies for Religious Freedom in Fragile States, and will take place online this Wednesday, September 22nd at 10:30 a.m. That's Eastern Time. Details will be provided at the end of the podcast. As we will see in the upcoming interview with Moses today, this type of family reaction is perhaps more common than we would like to think. According to Father Kills Son for Converting to Christianity from International Christian Concern, August 23rd, 2021, quote, the Muslim father of a 20-year-old convert to Christianity in Uganda on Sunday, August 15th, killed him for refusing to recant his faith, sources said, unquote.
The incident occurred in the Kabuku district, as pointed out here on the map.
Because he was driven by anger, the father was charged with manslaughter, not murder. The son, Trabaruka Tefyero, converted in 2019 and was immediately forced to leave his father's house. Trabaruka was finally convinced to return by his mother on August 1st of this year. His father was away at the time, but he returned August 14th and called a family meeting. Trabaruka, as reported by his aunt, told his father, quote, I want to confirm that I am saved by the grace of God. I can't renounce my Christian faith now or in the future, unquote. Embittered, the father attacked his son with a knife and hoe. Trabaruka, however, managed to escape to a neighbor's house. His father followed him, however, and forced him from the neighbor's house, took his son back home, and continued to beat him. When he fell unconscious, the father then hung him. The father admitted to the murder, adding his son, quote, had disgraced the Islamic religion by becoming a Christian, unquote. Unfortunately, as the article reports, quote, the assault was the latest of many instances of persecution of Christians in Uganda that Morning Star News has documented, unquote. The article concludes by pointing out there is religious freedom, quote, including the right to propagate one's faith and convert from one faith to another, unquote, in Uganda, and that Muslims are roughly 12% of the country's population and are concentrated mostly in the East. Pray for those in Uganda and East Africa, that they all may have freedom of conscience and live without fear of abuse and death. Pray for the Muslims in Uganda and the surrounding nations who attempt to suppress that freedom, that they may also recognize that freedom of conscience is one of the major factors that makes us humans, as we all practice it, whether secretly or openly. Pray also for those like Moses who are working for the betterment of people's lives, whether they are Muslim children, Christian youth, or anyone else. And finally, pray that the light of Christ shines bright in the hearts of many in that region of the world.
As I have been announcing, this is a reminder that if you are interested and can make it, this hearing on religious freedom is scheduled for this Wednesday, and you can join in the free online event by registering through the link in the description. And now let's listen to the first segment of my interview with Ssebaggala Moses, Director, Shared Love Uganda. In this segment, he tells about his upbringing, his conversion to Christ, and what inspired him to help the desperately needy.
Welcome to this interview for this week, and I have with me from Kampala, Uganda, Ssebaggala Moses. You're director at Shared Love Uganda, correct?
Yes.
Very good. So welcome. This is the first time I'm doing an overseas interview. This is only my second interview in total anyway. So welcome and thank you so much for taking the time to join me in this interview. For the next few minutes, I'll let you describe yourself, your background, where you are now, and the work going on there in Uganda.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brad. Nice to meet you. I'm Ssebaggala Moses from Uganda. Uganda is found in East Africa. And I thank God so much for who I am. I am 53 years old. I am married with Naomi, and I have children, biological and also adopted. So in total, I have about 6.
Wow.
And I thank God right now I'm the director of an organization called Shared Love Uganda. We are located in the central region of Uganda, and we deal with unwanted children and also poor communities where we operate. Illiteracy rate is over 86%. Shared Love Uganda is trying to address those challenges. But back to me, I'm a Christian and an evangelist too. I gave my life to Christ in 1984 from Islamic background.
Yeah.
And I thank God so much who has been faithful since then. My father hated me, and even he tried to kill me when I was young because of salvation. He denied me education. So I became a school dropout and I had no hope in life. But after 10 years on the road, also my father became a Christian.
Wow.
And God has been faithful since then. And I still believe that one day I'll see the risen King. So I am what I am by his grace. God has been faithful up to date. And I used to fear to share that I was raised up in a polygamous background. My mother abandoned me when I was 1.5 years, and I was raised up with over 11 different stepmothers. Wow. And I used to fear such. But by God's grace, when I came to Christ, God told me that it's better to be my witness in all spheres of life, no matter how you were, no matter how you were raised up. So I don't feel any shy to share where I came from and what I am. So in brief, that is Moses Ssebaggala.
Very good. Thank you very much. Wow, that was very interesting, very uplifting, amazing story as well.
Thank you.
So now for the next maybe couple minutes or so, just brief describe what is Shared Love Uganda. I know you mentioned a little bit of it before.
Okay. Shared Love Uganda is a Christian organization which is dealing with the people from all spheres of religions of faith background. We don't mind any so long as is in need. So Shared Love Uganda began about 11 years ago when I had gone in this community which is called Makukuba, which is in the Mukono district in the central region. I had gone there to preach the gospel, and then I met so many young people, many young girls at the age of 13 who were married to old men. I was not comfortable with it. And then I asked some of the leaders in the community that why is it that many young girls like this? And they were not scared. They said that is the order of the day. And that amazed me so much. So I had to go back and do a research. When I did a research, I realized that over 86%, they didn't know how to read and write.
Wow.
And people were sharing water with animals. And at the same time, many young girls, like this girl that I met, she was 13 and she was married to a 49-year-old man. And I couldn't believe this, just 25 miles away from Kampala, which is the capital city of Uganda. And I was amazed to see that. So I had to mobilize people, and we started doing some community work, trying to bring people on board. And then we started a school. We started with the kindergarten and primary one. As I talk now, we have a full primary school and we have a health center because the nearby health center was 5 miles away. And also we have a vocational school, which is skills development school. And also we help the members to mobilize them to construct a church. So people have started coming to church, and also the students are coming to school. And also we had to help in working with the community members to ensure that there's clean drinking water through digging boreholes. The journey is still going because the community is really poor, but we're trying what to do and also to encourage young people and even the parents to bring their children to school. So in brief, Shed Love Uganda is just helping the needy community people in that area so that they realize their God-given potential. We have some partners just in Modesto who are Shared Blessings Christian Ministries.
Yes.
Also, they're helping us to link us. They're in Modesto. They are trying to link us with people who are in position to support this kind of work that we are doing through sponsorship, among other areas. So in brief, that is Shed Love Uganda.
Wow, very good. And Modesto, California is where I'm based. The church I attend, Wellspring Anglican, has also had a few people that represented the church over there to Uganda. All right, so thank you very much. That was very enlightening, informative, and encouraging. And we'll pick up the interview for tomorrow. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you found the information and interview presented here useful and that it encouraged you to pray for these people and areas of concern, and perhaps even inspire you to take positive steps of involvement to alleviate the suffering of so many around the globe.